Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's enjoying their first week of May. Actually, yesterday was the first day, so I wanted to say Happy May to everybody. As we all know, when we're heading towards May, it's the start of the summer movies. We all know there's a lot of exciting movies coming out this summer. We got Men in Black 3. I heard that another movie that's coming out is Madagascar 3. We got a lot of threes coming out there. Of course, we can't talk about movies without talking about The Dark Knight Rises or Spider-Man. But the first summer movie of the year that's coming out this weekend, which I've seen and I'll give you a breakdown on it, is The Avengers. Basically, the story that with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., all the famous and most popular of the characters from Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye, Hulk will all be together in this one film, including Thor. I can't forget him. And basically, anyone who's been following this storyline, as we all know, it started from the very beginning when Nick Fury went into Tony Stark's apartment and basically, well, actually, I shouldn't say his apartment, but he had a nice place, because believe me, it's extremely nice. And he basically enlisted Tony to start this group called the Avengers. And basically what's going to happen is that Tony starts recruiting people. Later on, we start seeing the little sub stories of how this group got together. It goes from Iron Man to the Incredible Hulk, to Iron Man 2, then Thor, then Captain America, and then finally we have this movie coming out this weekend. I have to give it to Marvel, and I have to give it to all the writers and creators that were working on this storyline. It is really, really good. I liked how they built it up, because basically it gave you a sense of what to expect. It wasn't like a movie where they just botched all these characters together, and it wasn't just like, okay, well, you know what? Well, we don't know how we got to that part. They did a brilliant job bringing all those storylines together, starting from the Iron Man movie. And I have to tell you, after seeing this movie, because I won't blow it up how I've seen it, because you know me, all y'all know how I've seen it, so I won't say how. But I did see the movie last week, and I saw it actually on Saturday. And I said to myself, I will be honest with you, the movie, I'll give you two reasons why I like the movie, and then I give you two reasons why I hated the movie. I didn't really hate the movie. I didn't, it's kind of like in the middle. It is a B+ movie. I'd be lying if I said I hated it, because I didn't really hate it. It starts really slow in the beginning. Like, you don't really see these characters all together towards the middle of the film. The whole basic story is that, Loki escapes. As we all know, he escapes from his banishment. The cube is missing. And when you watch this story, it gets a little confusing, because suddenly what happens is that Nick has to get this group together. He has to get Iron Man and Captain America and Thor, and they look for the Hulk, because basically the Hulk is needed. All these characters are needed for a specific reason. Now, I have to be honest with you that I wish there were more villains with Loki in this film. They had a lot of good guys for this film, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've always been honest with all of you. I do believe that the Iron Man, and I apologize, I mean, this is not really spoiling the movie, because I won't tell what happened at the end, because I never really tell what happens at the end when I talk about these movies. But in the middle of the film, there's this incredible fight scene between Iron Man and Thor. But remember, people, that was kind of set up that way for the next year's movies and 2 years later's movies, because you figure, okay, Iron Man 3 is coming out next year, and Thor is coming out in 2 years. Well, actually, excuse me, not really 2 years. I've heard that it's coming out next year or maybe the following year. I mean, they were trying to push it for next year, but if they can't get it out for next year, it's the following year. Now, isn't it a coincidence that while these two were fighting, those movies were coming out at the same time? I thought that was a little marketing move that they did to get those people amped up. But you know something? Whether it was a marketing move or not, the fight scene was incredible. I thought that Iron Man and Thor, the fight scene was amazing. I thought that, You know, it was basically impossible for Iron Man to beat Thor up because remember, he's a god of all gods. You can't beat no man up like that. And you know something too, and you know, I also love the fight scene between Hulk and Thor. I mean, that was another good one. They gave Thor all the good fight scenes. I will give that an A+ on that. The fight scenes were amazing. They were very funny in some parts, but yet when you watch Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man all fight each other in different scenes, believe me when I tell you, you will know why this movie is very good, and it should have got a little higher grade for the fight scene. The only reason why I give it a kind of like a B+ because the movie was very slow. It starts off kind of slow in the beginning. You know, it goes into a little storyline and it gets people into the story to kind of get them excited before the great action scenes in New York City at the end. But I have to tell you that the disappointment was with Captain America. I thought that they didn't give Captain America no great fight scenes. I wish Captain America had fought had fought the Hulk instead of the Hulk fighting the Thor. And the reason why I say that because I don't know if they did that because in Captain America's own movie they let him shine, so now they're trying to let these other characters shine. And what I mean by shine is let them get the spotlight. And it seems like, believe me, what they were basically trying to do is give Iron Man, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk all the great scenes. Because it seems like they're all preparing them for the next movies, which I don't have a problem with that, but it would have been nice if I could have saw Captain America fight one of them. Like Captain America in one scene wanted to fight Iron Man in the movie, and then Iron Man was like, well, you know what? Believe me, Robert Downey Jr. was born to play that part. He is amazing as Tony Stark, and nobody else can ever replace him. He was born to play that role. All those characters did a phenomenal job. But the thing that killed me is, I don't want to get off the topic, is that the idea that, you know, Tony Stark was talking a lot of shit, and you know something, you know, why didn't Captain America just fight Iron Man? You know, I would have been interesting to see those two fight, because, you know, in the comic books they fought in the past, but you know something, they didn't give Captain America no great fight scenes. So if you're going to go into this movie thinking that Captain America is going to kick some ass, yeah, at the very end with the villains or Loki's army, but he don't do no ass kicking in this film. Which that is the disappointing part, because I wish that all these all these Marvel characters had equal fight scenes. They kind of did it like, okay, you know what? Okay, Thor versus Iron Man, they fought, amazing fight scene. Then Thor versus Hulk, fight scene was amazing. Then Captain America want to fight somebody, and then, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, fuck him. We ain't gonna sit there and fight him. Like, nobody wanted to fight him. I don't know why they didn't give him a fight scene with one of those characters. So, you know, it was kind of disappointing that, you know, even me and my brother were talking about that, because my brother kept asking, did Captain America get any fight scenes? He only fought like Loki, and I was like, okay. I wanted him to fight like, you know, the Hulk or Thor or Iron Man, one of those three. I mean, it would have been interesting to see him and Iron Man fight, because they've been talking shit throughout the whole movie. But what they did was they kind of let him fight the superhero, the stronger heroes like Thor and the Hulk. So I was like, okay. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not cutting down the scene because they were excellent scenes, but it was just an idea that I wish Captain America could have shined. Also, too, you know, the movie, all in all, was a very good movie. It's a very, like entertaining film. I would have gave it the same review. Like, a lot of the critics gave 3 stars. I would have gave it a B+, because I'm going to be honest with you, in watching the film, and I really did see this film, because when you see the ending, for those people are probably like, well, how did you know it? How did you see it? If you could prove it, I'll prove to you that I've seen this movie, because I did see this. Okay, this is a spoiler alert, so if you don't want to hear it, just turn it off for like 5 minutes, because I'll tell the ending just to prove that I saw it. At the very end of the movie, everybody sort of separates after beating Loki's army. So Captain America goes his own way. He's probably going to look for his love interest that was in the Captain America movie. Thor brings Loki back to his world for punishment. Then Hulk and Iron Man go together and they go off to their little world. Everybody sort of separates for a while. And then at the very end of the scene, you'll see Tony Stark and I forgot what Gwyneth Paltrow's character's name was. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Just help me to remind me. At the very end, they're rebuilding Stark Enterprises. And then at the end, you'll see a letter A. And instead of seeing Stark's name, you'll see the A that represents the Adventurers. So anytime there's ever a problem, the world knows and New York knows that everybody's being all watched and we all watching America. So that goes to prove to you that I did see the film. So if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I know I saw the movie and that's exactly how it ends. So that goes to prove to you that I did see the film. So, okay, spoiler alert is over. Okay, I'm sorry, cut it now. I'm back to normal. So, what do I expect for the next film? If they do make a part 2, I would love to see Spider-Man in this movie. If Andrew Garfield does a brilliant job, love to see Spider-Man. I love to see some of the other characters like Black Panther in this. I would love to see maybe Wolverine. You know, some of the characters. I know Wolverine probably later in the movies, but I would love to see Spider-Man in part 2. If they're going to add a new character and bring everybody back together, at least bring Spider-Man, because he's in New York City. It'd be interesting to see him. It would also be interesting to see if they bring the Punisher. I know I'm old school with the Punisher. I've always loved that character. I know he's not super, but he's in the world. He's in that range with Hawkeye because he's not basically, you know, a superhero, but he's skilled in combat and he's excellent with weapons. I would love to see them throw like the Punisher in there. It'd be interesting to throw him because he's a very complicated character and he doesn't get along well with others. So him and Spider-Man would probably fight because they fought in comic books in the past. But, you know, there's a lot of interesting characters I would love to see, but I love to see Spider-Man in 2. If they ever do a part 2, definitely put Spider-Man in. But in all, I will say this for the fact that The Adventurers is a pretty good film. You will enjoy. I know people went to go see it in 3D and people are excited, but you know something? When you do see this movie, and tell yourself this: number one, it is entertaining. Number two, they have its little flaws. It has slow parts in the film, and then it has parts in the movie that say, so, well, okay, what happened here, and how did Thor get there? Because I won't blow up every scene. I only told the ending because I wanted to prove that I did see this film. I'm not trying to do a review just to get popularity. I'm not here for that. I'm only doing this just to make you understand what to expect, because I've always been honest with everybody when I do these things. And believe me when I tell you, like I said, you will enjoy the film. You can take your kids to see this, and you know, I'm sure that your son or daughter, who, if they love Marvel comics and they love, you know, movies and they love the type of storytelling that Marvel did a great job on, I hope that, you know, DC takes a lesson in what Marvel did, because Marvel did an excellent job building this story up. You know, they've been shining when it came to those movies, and believe me when I tell you, DC, who's trying to do a Justice League, needs to do a story like that. They need to go, this is just my personal opinion, do the same thing like Marvel did. You know, start with Dark Knight Rises, introduce Superman, and then build up from there. Don't just have the Justice League build up so quickly. Build the movie up slowly. Start with number one, Batman, because obviously Batman's shining. Then introduce Superman, introduce Wonder Woman, introduce the characters just the way like Marvel did when they were introducing Captain America, Thor, and Hulk, and everyone else. You know, if you do it the way like you just put out the movie, it's not going to work. You're not going to be, nobody's going to want to watch this, because then they'll say, okay, well, how did Flash become Flash, and how did Wonder Woman become Wonder Woman? You know, you're just putting characters out there. And yeah, you can, if you have a really good script, you can probably get away with that. But believe me, people like development. People like to see them in their own movies first. Green Lantern didn't really work because the story didn't work. And they had the wrong pick for an actor. No disrespect to Ryan Reynolds, but that was what went wrong with Justice League. So, I mean, in conclusion, because I would love to hear people's opinions about what they thought of the movie, but I will be honest with you, this film did a brilliant job in the development of the story. This movie itself, it's very long. This is basically 130 minutes. You're going to be sitting in the theater for quite some time. So if you got a weak bladder or you can't sit for a very long period of time, believe me, you're going to be sitting there for quite some time. But the problem with the story is that it does have its little flaws. Like, what I mean by flaws is that there are slow periods of the story, and then there's some parts of the story that say to yourself, okay, where did Thor come from? When they were, when he just pops out of nowhere, and I thought you had to, like, get the cube to kind of bring him in. It's, like, confusing. It's not that major, but there are some slow parts, because I guess they're trying to develop the story. But then after a while, when you get to the scenes where we get towards New York City, when Loki starts its invasion, that's when the movie gets really good, because that's like at least a half an hour of fighting. That's basically, the rest of the movie is just non-stop action with Thor and Hulk and Captain America all working together to try to stop Loki's army and start the army of darkness. And everybody coming in, no pun intended, but everybody coming in to basically, destroy New York City. Now, I hope people don't walk away with this like, oh my God, they're attacking New York, and this is about World Trade Center, and it wasn't all like that. If anything, this was a very good comic book movie. So far, comic book movies are getting a lot better, and this was a very good movie. It's not an A+, but it's not a D neither. It's a definite B+ film. Like, when you go there, you will be entertained. I mean, your girl might not like it, but when you go to see the movie in the theaters, because my brother wants to see it in the theaters. I've seen it already, but I'll go with him if he goes this weekend to go see the movie, because I've seen it, and believe me, in high definition, it's brilliant color. But the way I saw it, it was blurry in some parts, but hey, you know what? I got to see it, and it was well made and well entertained. So, love to see part 2, and put Spider-Man in it. That's just my personal opinion. So hit me up with your comments. Tell me what you think of the movie when you see it, or if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of my comments, and tell me what you think of the movie itself. Do you think that the movie did justice? Do you think that it was a boring piece of shit? Tell me what you honestly think. I love to hear what your thoughts are. And also think about this. What was the best fight scene in the movie? And do you feel that Captain America should have got more action in fighting the other superheroes? Let me know what you think about that. Do you think that I'm just blowing it out of proportion? Or do you agree? So if you agree or disagree, let me know what you think. Otherwise, you guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy the movie this week. Believe me, a lot of summer movies are coming out. As more come out, I will let you know what's going on. So take care of yourselves. Enjoy the first week of May, and believe me, for those, again, happy first day of May for yesterday, and take care of yourself. Have a great weekend, and believe me, I will talk to you guys again. Take care. Peace.